We're back to Wrestling in Mom's Basement. This is going to be Joe's Punishment review of WrestleWar 1992 from WCW. I, of course, am Patrick Young, and he's the aforementioned Joe Venuto.
WrestleWar 1992 took place on May 17th, 1992 for the Jacksonville Memorial Coliseum in Jacksonville, Florida. The attendance was 6,000. Commentators Jim Ross and Jesse Ventura. This show's about one thing and one thing only: board games. There you go. I'll cut out the rest of my open because you don't really need to know the rest. That's it. Let me see. Yeah, another video talks about nothing. Talks about doesn't talk about anything but war games, and this is the where did I go? So, and this is the original version on the network, because a lot of them papers on the side have an edit version of technical difficulties, but
yeah,
this one's in full. Tony and Eric welcome us to the show, so they're the hosts, I guess. And it's going to be Sting's first match in about a month. Jesse calls the show War Games. At least he's realistic about. We kick things off with the U.S. tag titles.
U.S. tag titles.
Definitely from the tag titles. Gray Valentine and Terry Taylor versus the Freebirds. Kind of amazing how far tag wrestling has fallen from the 80s from WWF. If you look at the tag division in WWF at the time.
Yeah.
And then this. No disrespect to the Freebirds. These are the mid-card tag titles. They're held by the non-Burrs. Greg and Terry. The Freebirds are faces here. And for the life of me, I don't understand why Valentine and Taylor are a team. So there you go. There's the touring show like War Games, which is kind of strange but still cool. The Freebirds both use the DDT here, so they're looking for the quick win. Fonzie from ECW is the referee here.
Yeah.
Taylor Hayes.
This is only a WWF ref.
Yes, so did I. Taylor Hayes starts off, and the fans more or less hate Taylor. At least they're smart. It's just strange seeing the Freebirds as faces. Also, Greg Valentine is a champion in 1992. What's weird about this picture? A backhand chop is a judo chop, according to Jim. For those of you that sure the Freebirds are Jimmy Garvin, no one note real. No, he was a no one note out of the original version, and Michael Hayes, who is currently the head producer for WWE. The more famous Freebirds is Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy, not Jim Garvin's kind of like the secondary. All Freebirds so far, but this little match there was plenty of time left. We're about 8 minutes in. The Chambers had no offense longer than maybe 20 seconds yet. Valentine will give him credit. He knew how to fall on his face perfectly. Every time he was falling, he did a perfect job selling that. The heels take over a bit, and I emphasize a bit Parsons Carver takes over again and goes to even. Hayes gets a hot tag and cleans house. The crowd's hot tonight, which gives him a good feeling about the main event. Hayes gets in the back of the head with the 5-arm. Terry's finisher, but only gets 2. Fans are completely behind the Freebirds. Taylor gets the government found on from Hayes, which is a move I wish we saw more often.
Yeah.
We're now 15 minutes in, and Jesse says it's too early to go for the figure 4. And that's Ray Valentine's finisher. Valentine versus Arm, which is just weird for him because he's a late guy. There's been a good match, I can live with that. Another hot tag to Garvin, he cleans house. Everything goes insane, and Garvin gets a DDT on Taylor for the pin and the titles. Solid burn, the crowd's happy. Sorry for work. The titles will be retired in July, so not like it means much. It was great opening here. The crowd was into it, and the title change works well to open the show. Starting show a good time match is pretty much a universally good idea, and this is no exception. I'm not a particular fan of Andy's 4, but this was a very solid match. I haven't wanted to watch more of the show, which is exactly the point of the opener. So big. Johnny B. Bay versus Tracy Smothers. WCW had this weird tendency to have totally random matches like this to flush out the pay-per-views, which are always odd. They're not particularly bad, but they're just odd. Bay is fairly flamboyant at this point, but is popular to a degree, I guess. And given the pop that he got, that he was actually very popular. Imagine a gay Little Richard.
So Little Richard.
Little Richard's gay?
Probably, I don't know.
But that's not hard to judge.
He's probably gay.
Good point. The wrestle version, Little Rusher. There you go. He's very much in the mold route, though. Mark Merrill here. Down to the makeup and the feathers on the clothes. Woman put money in his knee pads. So, Big is a roll been around 3 seconds in for 2. Tracy Smothers is more commonly known as a member of the FBI. This will be a cruiserweight match 4 to 5 years later. Jesse always had his theory that the loser of a normal contenders match, this isn't one, won't be able to get another chance at a title shot for a year minimum. And in WWF's tag division back in the late 80s, that was true, but not here. Smothers confirmed some karate stuff and when he wanted to, so that was fun. Smothers says the top rope back elbow on, mostly Smothers so far, but enough for that bad. Sunset Flip was blocked, but Smothers puts his arm up and just taking it randomly. It turns into a boxing match, which makes me wonder something. Band's finisher is a left hook punch.
Well, actually, if you believe Wikipedia, though he was gay.
Okay.
Little Richard.
There we go.
Yeah. Giving you the hard facts here.
Makes you wonder something. Once they turn into a boxing match. Band's finisher is a left hook punch. Why does he not do that right after the match starts? A top rope sunset flip is the more famous guy too, and then the punch ends. The more famous guy is Johnny Man, and the punch ends it. Just a wrestling match here, but nothing that bad. Giant will get a decent push soon enough, but not a big one for a few years. He got pretty good rubber face, and the moment is just a comedy character. Smothers is attacked by his partner left, so he's kind of stuck on his own. No one really cared. Decent enough match, though. C-minus. The Freebirds talk about how awesome they are and make rock and roll soul references. We hear about the NWA Tag Team Title Tournament, which crippled WCW in the next few months. Up next, Sky Flamingo versus Marcus Bagwell. Raven versus Bob Bagwell, in case you're young. Raven versus a way less talented Dolph Ziggler, in case you're really young. With the show-off gimmick and all. I had no idea what Sky Flamingo's character was supposed to be, but his pink tights and kind of afro just a weird combination. Jesse gets on Ross for being in high school while Jesse was in Vietnam. Crowd's kind of dead for this. I can't say I particularly blame them. Both of these guys are relatively young and not very good yet. Or in Bagwell's case, this is as good as he's going to get. There's a grand total going on here. It's not bad, but it's just there. After like 7 minutes, Bagwell hits the perfect plex, but Sky gets the ropes. He rolls on Bagwell and uses the ropes to get the pin. Just an average match and nothing particularly good. It was just kind of near, nothing particularly good, nothing particularly bad, but nothing I'm going to remember in about 40 minutes either way. They got better with different gimmicks later on, Raven. But at this point, they weren't that good yet. Let's see. For Beach Blast.
Hot damn.
Which was an awesome show.
Isn't that the one-eyed midget?
Yeah, that was Bulldog, right?
Yeah.
That'll be 93.
It was 93, yeah.
Because Bulldog didn't face Bray yet. That's SummerSlam.
That's right, yeah.
Mr.
Cheetah is his name. The one-eyed midget.
Yeah. Mr. Hughes and Titus Jack versus Ron Simmons and Junkyard Dole. No idea why Hughes is here instead of Dole at the butcher, but whatever. Titus jumps JYD on the way ring and beats the living tar off him. And people wonder why I love Foley so much. Because he's insane. And being this insane back then wasn't done that much, so he definitely was a scary character back then. Simmons was a hot thing back then and will be world champion in the fall. JYD gets taken off, so this more or less becomes a singles match. Mr. Hughes versus Ron Simmons. Well, how quick that match fell.
Yep. Boy, that de-escalated pretty quickly.
Officially isn't a handicap, but Jack is acting like a manager here. You can tell they were really good idea for how useful Foley can be around this time, and it worked. Simmons beats them both up. I'm sure it's had nothing to do with the racial issues going on behind the scenes at this point. I always...
Fair enough.
He was kind of like Rocky by V, it looked like at this point. Ironically, Ron Simmons. Because he was like a beast athletically, but not much on the mic at all. We get a Bill Watts reference on commentary.
Yeah, Ron Simmons wasn't really much until he became
Farouk.
yeah,
Not Farouk Assad.
Farouk in the APA.
Yeah. We did Bill Walsh reference, but I don't think he took over officially yet. In May '92, I don't think.
Not yet.
Hughes was a...
Which will have more racial problems.
Right. Hughes was a guy that I never got the appeal of.
I don't think anybody did.
But I guess he's a big guy you could bring in for a quick feel of the face. This is glorified squash for Simmons. As a result, what he was going to lose here. Simmons is a spine buster, and Andrew Cactus comes in and shots it, and he ends it. Kind of weird. Nothing that special here, but I was going to get Simmons over, which was the idea here. It was also less than 6 minutes long, which is a good thing for them here, as Hughes was not really that good. Jack versus Simmons will turn out to have a match at feud. But it never went anywhere due to Watson and NWA screwing it up. F. Super Invader versus Todd Champion. Super Invader is Hercules and Miss. Champion was half of a tag team.
That's literally what you got.
Yeah, that won the U.S. tag titles. Apparently, the tag team was awful, but it didn't have a name. So, Harley Race is Invader's manager here, which doesn't help him that much. This is just all but just filler until the main event, because everyone more for anything is in that match. We got to the chin lock early on, as this isn't much of a match at all. Someone tells you they weren't playing on this game for resembling classic at all. As Jagger is just there because they're fairly competent in the ring. Well, Hercules is, at times. And I think until 8 minutes out there. Jesse mentions that he's got a job at Beach Boys, which will wind up being the judge in the bikini contest. Invader does the jump off the top into a boot while clearly doing nothing but going to the top and jump into the boot. So our guy can take over spot, which Pat knows how much I hate that spot. Champion makes a very brutal comeback and a powerbomb ends it. This was just bad. The majority of the match is a chin lock. And since Hercules was on the downside of his career and not very good even at his best, this was a real note. Border match.
Yeah, he wasn't really all that great even in his prime.
So hopefully we can go into something else. F. Big Josh versus Richard Morton.
Did he have the Bears?
Yep.
Good.
Big Josh used to be Doink, Matt Bourne.
Mm-hmm.
So he is a capable worker.
Yep.
And so is Ricky Morton, who's Richard Morton here. But just gonna out the window here. Big Josh used to be Doink, and now he's a woodsman that dances with beer cups.
If you haven't seen it yet, I suggest you have. It's pretty majestic.
Morton used to be in the Rock and Roll Express, and now is part of a corporate stable that was managed by Alexandra York as in Terry Runnels. Something tells you this is going to be an incredibly interesting match.
Although the odd thing is, though, he's still dressing like a member of Rock and Roll Express.
Yes.
With all like the bandanas and tassels and stuff. Yeah.
And this match, as far as still matches done, things pick up velocity, which is definitely a good thing. Morton dressed, and actually hear that he was dressed somewhat up though.
Oh, okay.
And a very bizarre sight. Less than a minute, we're at 5 people going to the concession stand. You literally see like a row of people just go, "Hey, go." Actually, it was 6 people. Most of the last.
I need a hot dog. Do you need a hot dog? Yeah, I'll come with you.
The whole room.
Does he need a hot dog? I think we all need a hot dog. Okay, let's go. Let's go stand up and get a hot dogs.
Most of the last 3 matches, there's no point to this at all. I just did a course of time. Morton versus Shirt, Opal, and Josh, and gets ticked off. I guess he's a redneck Hogan fan or something. Morton looks like he's all like he always has, which takes away the whole heel thing here, because he's the one that invented the babyface and power spot in tag matches.
Yeah.
No other. This is a weird power versus speed map based thing. It's not bad, I guess, but it's just not interesting. Josh has a nice belly to belly, which is just pure power. You can tell the announcers pretty bored are talking about war games instead. I can't blame them as there is it. I'll just say that. Josh just kind of beats him up a good bit that hits the C senton, the run drop for the pin. Nothing to here, but it's not bad, I guess. The 3 or 4 field matches in a row are far too many, though, and this show suffered because of it. These are both good workers, but with no point in the match at all. This is just there. It's not bad by any reason to care about, as the wrestler is going to carry on his own. So F. Light heavyweight title: Flying Brian versus Z-Man. Now this should be awesome. These two used to be the U.S. Tag Champions. Jesse wants to cheat in the start before the match even begins. I love heel announcers when they're good at what they do, and he's one of the best on them. They keep doing the same stuff because they know each other so well. That's old tactic, but it works very well no matter what, so I can't complain. Crowell's Ollie dead here, but I think because there's not much to cheer for in about an hour. Jesse does some play-by-play here, which is very different, and JR was doing the color, so that was different. Him basically drawing right in and punch me for is great. This starts up pretty slowly, but it's going with a slow build, as you can tell. The end is going to be Olsen. Z-Man misses a Vader bomb, so Pillman can take her again. And now's a half crowd time for no apparent reason. Pillman will soon join up with Olsen and make the Hollywood Blondes, who is as awesome as you can be in a 6-month reign as a team. Fair 4 goes on, and Z-Man has a band-aid. They're going with more map-based psychology heavy match here, and it's worked rather well. The crowd's hot for it, which is a good thing. Z-Man was selling the knee very well, too. Crucifix, while Pillman's signature moves, gets 2. Jesse is begging for them to cheat. Z-Man gets the crossbody, but goes too high of it, and nearly breaks Pillman's neck. Which more or less happened at last year's WrestleWar. But we'll get to that later, when Sid powerbombs him into the ceiling.
Yeah.
Well, like I said.
Yeah, you can get a full extension of the powerbomb through his head in the ceiling and just, like, drop the murder in the back of his head.
Mm-hmm. Both guys are down, more or less out. And nice bit of psychology. Z-Man fakes a knee injury and kicks Pillman as he's coming out for a crossbody. Nice move out Bret Hart's book. Although that wasn't written yet. Z-Man misses a missile dropkick, and Pillman gets a roll to routine. Nice ending. Another very good match here. Pillman was just also disappointed. This is an exception. Excellent match where 2 guys just going out there and blaze. Z-Man was the same for the most part. And it's a shame because apparently he had a lot of backstage issues, but it was going to ring when it wasn't pissed off. This was a great match. I'm sure a lot of styles. I can't quite get into the A range, but it's well worth watching if you're bored. At B+. Steiner Brothers versus Tatsumi Fujinami and Taiyuki Iizuka.
Yeah. Someone I've never heard of before.
The Steiner Brothers are Rick Scott Steiner.
I know them.
And Tatsumi.
I know him too. It's the other guy.
Okay. The winners are no longer contenders to the IWGP Tag Team titles.
Yeah.
Held by a team called Big Bad and Dangerous.
Creative names.
More commonly known as Vader and Baby and Bigelow.
They could have gotten better names.
Vader and Baby and Bigelow.
There you go.
Why the WCW Tag Team Champions will want to get to the New Japan Tag Team titles is beyond me. But soon enough, the WWE will mess everything up by taking everyone in WWE that meant anything, and some NJPW guys, and putting them in a tag title tournament, which just had to be held at the Great American Bash. Back in the day, WCW was all the NWA had. They just didn't want to admit that without WCW, the NWA was dead. The WCW tag titles meant more than the NWA titles, and everyone knew it except the NWA. So, of course, they hijacked the pay-per-view for their own stuff and bombed, but whatever.
Soon the only thing they'll actually have would be ECW.
Right.
And even they would leave them.
Yes. But that's another review for another day. For those of you that never heard of him, Fujinami is a legend in every sense of the word. Iizuka didn't mean anything at this point. But he will become a fair big deal in tag wrestling in Japan over the 90s, so nothing huge there. Jesse goes into a small rant about Japan taking on the jobs. And you can hear the politics in his voice already.
He's already making a platform for the Minnesota governorship.
Scott breaks out the blockbuster, which is even rarer than the screwdriver for him. It's a full-away slam with a flow over. It's hard to hit, and he mostly botched it first. Second one's great, though. Iizuka is a high flyer that will be decent today, but back then was the same. This is the Scott Steiner that was completely awesome, and everyone knew it. He's a one-man record here, and takes out Iizuka with a combination of powerbomb and elbow drop with help from Rick. Rick does one of my favorite spots that I always see the stars do. As the Japanese guys have him up for the Doomsday Device, he does it.
Yeah. I love that spot.
But Rick pulls Fujinami out of the ear while he's going for the clothesline, and lands a belly-to-belly suplex. It just looks amazing every time he did, which was rare. I guess the Japanese guys are heels. They work with Rick's legs, which doesn't work that well at all. Basically, this is the Steiners getting to show off, and they let all guys be on them for a bit. Fujinami goes way old school by hooking abdominal stretch and rolling back into it with a pin for 2. The Zenith, what's the cool when your races against another country?
Xenophobe.
I was wrong. Okay.
Xenophobia, yeah.
The Xenophobe with Crowd Change USA. Izuka kicks the heck out of Scott, who just tackles him, be star off him for his trouble. I actually had to rewind this next spot because it might have been a cool spot, one of the cool spots I've ever seen. The Japanese guys both have top wrestling excellence, Scott, and he lifts himself up and does a standing backflip to slingshot them into the corner, and then misses double clothesline to send him into the corner, where Rick comes over with double clothesline from the top rope. Keep in mind that Scott weighs about 270 and did a standing backflip with ease and tossed them both. This is getting a higher grade for that spot alone. Dragon Sleeper Fujinami invented it, by the way. And it's kind of almost Scott gets the rope. Rick gets the hot tag, everything goes crazy for Rick. Crowd's way into this. Rick gets on top of his one heck of belly to belly for a pin. Izuka was in free fall for a little bit and it looked awesome too. When he did the belly to belly. It was better than the previous match, light heavyweight match, but not by much. This has some of the cool spots I can ever remember. Scott was just absolutely amazing this time. And was showing off here. That backflip spot was incredible, to say the least. The signs were going in November when they went to the WWF. But this is their last great match. It was freaking awesome, to say the least. Great match, but never really down to the winners was Hershey A-. And now, the greatest gimmick match in the history of WCW by far.
Judy Bagwell on a pole.
Score games. Okay.
Score games.
Sting's Squadron. War Games, Sting's Squadron versus Dangerous Alliance. Sting, Ricky Steamboat, Dusty Rose, Barry Windham, and Nikki Koloff, Rick Rude, Steve Austin, Larry Zbyszko, Bobby Eaton, and Arn Anderson. There's some talent in this match. Okay, so there's not much of a backstory here. Back in 1992, the storyline pretty much went like this. Sting fights everybody. He feuded with about 5 people at once, most of which are in this match. At Halloween Havoc in the Clash of Champions that came just after it, Rude showed up and stole the US title from Sting. Forming this team, Sting won the World title Super Brawl, and the Alliance won off of him. And no matter who did it, it will eventually be Vader and be Sting for the World title. But we'll get to that later. Larry and Arn were a tag team and feud with Barry and Dustin over the tag titles. Barry also just got a team title from Austin. Ricky wanted to be US champion, which was Rude at the moment. Anderson and Eaton had taken them from Rose and Wyndham before losing them to the Steiners 2 weeks before this. In short, everyone hates everyone, and they don't care who they're fighting. And Koloff is there. Just because Sting the 5th guy, more or less. He will go into Rude for this pay-per-view. For those of you new to War Games, the rules are pretty basic, and you better get used to them. Because this looks like the rules for this year's War Games in WWE.
Yeah.
You start a match, and they fight for 5 minutes, and after that, 5 minutes we flip a coin, and the winning team gets to stay in their second man for 2-1 match. That lasts 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, the team that lost that gets even up 2-2 for 2 minutes. After that, 2 minutes, the team that won the toss ends in for third man for 2 minutes. You alternate like that until it's 5-on-5. Well, or in this year's case, 4-on-4. But it looks like they're going back to the old rules for War Games. And then first submission wins. I'm not sure if that part's being included in.
Probably not.
It might be still first pinfall.
It'll still probably be the roofless cage.
Right, yeah.
This year.
So no pinfalls at all in this version, though. It's double cage over both rings, and there's nothing separating 2 rings. So both cages only have 3 rules in essence, but it's really just one big cage. So everyone's on ringside for this, so I expect a fight out there too. There are Thompson in cages too, like Pat said. Crowd's just the same for Sting. And the face team's stacked as hell. And Dangerous Alliance title, we hear that Austin is starting for his team. He starts against Wyndham and his own melee. Heyman keeps running strategy, and it's cool because what he's saying is actual strategy. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Both guys are really stiff in there, and they're just pounding each other. Austin dives over both ropes, and it's a clothesline. For those of you that haven't seen him before, he hurt his neck, and his knees were made of jelly. Go find some of yourself. He's totally different, but still a very good worker. Wyndham rubs Austin's face in the cage and busts him open. There's a minute left before the next guy comes in. Wyndham bites the cut to open up more. If you can't tell, this is a very violent match. The Alliance wins the coin toss, and they send their big man, Rick Rude, to make it 2-1. Also has 3 world champions. Rude won the big gold belt, which is kind of a title at this point in there. The heels take over, and Wyndham is in trouble. Bruce ties to like the San Diego Comic-Con logo. Steamboat ties up and goes straight for Austin. Pissed off Steamboat is Austin. And it's nice to hear this without Tony Schiavone making bad word puns. Wyndham is busted open. Steamboat and Wyndham are dominated here by Anderson, the best wrestler in the winning world title, arguably. Comes in clean house. Rude and Anderson both holding crowd with Steamboat. This has been nonstop the whole time, which is a major perk of it. For some reason, all staying the same room. Both 5 guys is okay. And then there goes Steamboat and Rude to scratch that theory. Dustin Rhodes comes in to balance it out. If my math is right, he's the least successful guy in here at this point. Dustin.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot. Steamboat gets screwed in a fair 4, more or less, making at 2-2. Zabisco and all 4 world champions and making 4-3. He's been in trouble lately for being a screw up, and Rose beats the tar out of him as soon as he comes in. Medusa goes up the cage and slips R on the phone, but she and Sting have a standoff on the roof.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. There's blood everywhere. The mat looks like an abstract painting. Sting, who has bad ribs thanks to Vader, even things up and press slams Rude into the air so that his back slams in the cage 5 times. Sting is just whipping in there, and we have 2 more guys on to come in. R gets the cage right again and is bleeding too. Everyone's one more ring, which is kind of cluttering, but there they go. At least it didn't last long. Eaton comes in as the last man for Dangerous Alliance. Rose is bleeding a ton. Wyndham looks quite dead. Larry is messing with the turnbuckle. Keep that in mind as they come into play later. The ropes are clearly loose thanks to Larry and Rude no longer we're doing. Koloff comes in finally to start the match beyond. That's the nickname for the match, just to clarify.
Yeah.
No submissions go count until now. Koloff is a wild card because years earlier he had Neil Sting in the match, but I claimed that meant for was Luger, so no one's sure if you can trust him. He pushes Sting out of the way to let Austin and Anderson hit him in great bit of continuity, since Sting pushed Luger out of the way to start their whole issue. This is just pure insanity, never stop at all. Sting gets the Scorpio on Anderson by eating a save. They completely get the turnbuckle on hook, so there's no top rope. And the buckle's just laying in the ring. Austin's bleeding like crazy. Rouge touched our polka dot, now from the blood on them. Larry tells Bobby to hold up Sting so he can hit him with the steel bar. But that came with the buckle. Sting ducks and Eaton takes it to the arm. Steamboat takes Larry out as Sting throws on an armbar for a submission and to blow the roof off the place. Heyman loses it and everyone gets mad at Larry's show ends. This broke up the Dangerous Alliance because they lost this and kind of wound up turning Larry face, but more or less he just retired. This right here is the best gimmick blow to a feud ever in WCW. This match was about violence and it worked incredibly well. The ending was great, the violence was great, most people bled. There was not a single dead spot in another 25 minutes at this match ran. I'm still trying to figure out why WWE didn't do war games
sooner. Yeah, I have no idea.
The crowd was white hot, and the feud ended here. This was it. Everyone knew it, so they left everything they had in the ring. Perfection for what was supposed to be. A+. Overall, B. The stuff that is good, and the stuff that isn't good. However, with 10 guys in the main event, there's only so much you can do without filler. I will watch this with a remote in my hand and fast forward some of the filler stuff. It doesn't matter which you fast forward, it's all about the same, and none breaks 7.5 minutes of filler. So it's not like they go on forever or anything. The main events I'll see, and the 2 matches prior to it, clearly worth watching. So they will be the 3 recommendations. And the Freebirds match too. WCW 92 is a very underrated time, it looks like. This, and from what I was looking at for Beach Blast, are best examples of that, apparently. And then Bill Watts came in, and ruined that a little bit, whatever. But it's the story of WCW. Well worth seeing overall, though. But make sure you watch the main event and take notes, it's that good. Up next, Starrcade 2000.
See you then.